The 2000s decade was huge for animation and cartoons. One popular show from that decade that I grew up with was Danny Phantom. It ran from 2004 to 2007 with a total of 3 seasons, and the characters were pretty interesting and enjoyable. Well, I wasn't a big fan of Dash, or Mr. Lancer either, but I really did enjoy everyone else, and it made for some great humor. Whenever I think of this show, however, there is always one episode that comes to my mind since it was the most advertised episode in the entire show. And that episode is The Ultimate Enemy. Since it has been 20 years when this episode premiered on Nickelodeon all the way back in 2005, I have decided to go over the episode, explain the good and bad things that I believe came out of the episode, and my overall score. With that being said, let's get started. So the episode starts off in the future where it is revealed that Valerie Gray and her father are now living in the Fenton Works. They put up a ghost shield trying to protect Amity Park from the most powerful evil ghost in the world. And this powerful evil ghost unfortunately is able to break through the ghost shield by using his powerful ghostly wail. And this powerful evil ghost is revealed to be Danny Phantom. In the ghost zone, a ghost named Clockwork is observing these future events, and the observants order Clockwork to prevent this evil future from happening by destroying the present Danny Phantom. Meanwhile, in the present, at Casper High, Danny's least favorite teacher, Mr. Lancer, tells everybody that the CAT exams are coming up. He puts a lot of pressure on everybody to do well by telling them to study really hard to ensure that they have successful futures. He then warns them that if they fail, they will be stuck at a dead-end job like the Nasty Burger. He then reveals that he has the answers locked up in a briefcase. He handcuffs the briefcase to his arm and leaves. Danny tries to study. Unfortunately, he struggles, and because of all of the pressure on him, he starts to lose it. Clockwork then sends a ghost from the future named Box Lunch after Danny. Using the Nasty Burger sauce information he got from the assembly earlier, he is able to defeat her. Box Lunch vanishes back into the future, leaving the time medallion behind. Danny and his friends take it, and Danny also sees that he got access to the CAT test answers, since he phased through Mr. Lancer's briefcase with nasty sauce stuck on his back, which caused him to phase the answers out of the briefcase. Danny is so ecstatic that he has acquired the answers, and all the stress immediately melts off of him, believing that he has found a shortcut to doing really well by planning to look at the answers and cheat on the test. His friends try to talk him out of it, but Danny doesn't listen. Unbeknownst to them, Mr. Lancer overhears their entire conversation and starts growing suspicious. He opens his briefcase to find the answers gone, so he informs Danny's sister Jazz of the situation. Lancer tells Jazz that he is giving Danny until the day of the test to return the answers, but furiously warns her that if Danny doesn't return them, regardless of what he does on the CAT, Mr. Lancer will instantly fail him. Meanwhile, right before Danny was about to look at the answers, Clockwork sends another ghost from the future named Skulktech after Danny. Even though he, Sam, and Tucker are able to defeat Skulktech, Danny and his friends are transported to Clockwork's lair in the ghost zone. Clockwork reveals that he is trying to prevent Danny's evil future from ever happening. Danny tries to fight Clockwork, but he is no match for the time ghost, so he, Sam, and Tucker escape to the future. They meet the future Valerie and the future Danny Phantom. Danny tries to fight against his future self, but he gets pulverized by this huge menacing evil version of himself. Dark Danny then uses his ghostly wail to try and kill Sam and Tucker, but they take their time medallions off just in the nick of time, returning them to the present. But just before Danny is about to take off his time medallion, Dark Danny traps the medallion inside of the present Danny so that he can't escape. Meanwhile, when Sam and Tucker return to the present, they are confronted by Jazz, and she tells them what Mr. Lancer told her. She now knows that Danny has stolen the answers to the CAT, and she wants to confront Danny about it. Realizing that Lancer knows that Danny has stolen the answers to the CAT and that Danny is now in huge trouble, Sam and Tucker theorize that Danny cheating on the CAT is what will lead to that terrible future that they saw. Back in the future, Danny realizes that his mom, his dad, his sister, both of his friends, and Mr. Lancer were killed when they were at the Nasty Burger when it exploded. Dark Danny traps the present Danny into the future ghost zone, and Dark Danny goes back to the present to make sure that his evil future still happens. Jazz confronts who she thinks is Danny about stealing the answers to the CAT and planning to cheat. She also reveals that she knows that he is Danny Phantom. Shocked that she knew, Dark Danny reveals himself. He tells Jazz that the present Danny is trapped in the future. He also reveals that Danny's archenemy Vlad was involved in Dark Danny's creation and that he plans to cheat on the CAT to ensure his existence. Dark Danny then knocks Jazz out. Jazz wakes up and her parents said that Danny has already left to take the CAT. Panicking, Jazz immediately runs to the Fenton portal and writes a message on her bandana containing the information she got from Dark Danny and ties it to the boomerang that was seen earlier in the episode. She then throws it into the Fenton portal, hoping it would reach the present Danny that is currently trapped in the future. Meanwhile, in the future ghost zone, the present Danny is confronted by his ghost archenemies, who all got brutally beaten up by Dark Danny. So they all tie up present Danny, but right before they're about to finish him off, Danny actually learns the ghostly wail and is able to break free. He then gets Jazz's no and flies off to find the future Vlad. Back in the present, Dark Danny starts cheating on the CAT. Jazz tries to stop him, but she is unsuccessful and gets knocked out once again. Danny finds the future Vlad, who is a completely destroyed, depressed old man. He then reveals to Danny that after the death of his friends, his family, and his teacher, he moved in with Vlad, who was the only one left to understand his situation. Danny, wanting to make the pain go away, asked Vlad to remove the human emotions out of him. However, it turned into a complete disaster since Vlad rips out the ghost version of Danny, he rips out the ghost version of Vlad, and both ghosts join together to create an evil Danny Phantom. The evil Danny Phantom kills his human self, blows up Vlad's mansion, and begins his 10-year rampage of destruction. Danny then gets an idea. He tells Vlad that there is a medallion stuck inside of him that is preventing him from returning to the present. He asks him to use the ghost gauntlets to get the medallion out of him so that he can return to the present and prevent this future from ever happening. Meanwhile, Dark Danny finishes the CAT before anyone in the class, making Mr. Lancer even more suspicious. Dark Danny leaves with a smirk. Lancer, having seen enough, immediately calls Danny's parents and arranges a meeting at the Nasty Burger to discuss Danny's unacceptable actions. Mr. Lancer, as well as Jack, Maddie, and Danny Fenton go to the Nasty Burger. Lancer says that he is totally pissed off. He then reveals that he knows Danny has cheated on the CAT, and because of that, Lancer is instantly failing Danny. Sam and Tucker then arrive trying to warn them of the impending explosion. Jazz then arrives in the Fenton Peeler and blasts Danny, revealing his true self. Jack and Maddie demand to know where their real son is, but Dark Danny reveals that he is the future Danny. He then calls all of them idiots for failing to realize that Danny Fenton and Danny Phantom are one and the same. Dark Danny then ties up Jack, Maddie, Sam, Tucker, and Mr. Lancer to the Nasty Burger boiler where it's about to blow, ensuring their deaths. Jazz tries to fight back, but she is unable to overcome the power of the evil Danny, and she is tied up as well. Luckily though, Vlad was able to get the medallion out of the present Danny, and Danny arrives just in time to destroy his evil future self. Even though it was a really tough and brutal fight, Danny is able to defeat his future self by using the new ghostly wail that he learned while he was trapped in the future. Danny beats Dark Danny and traps him in the Fenton thermos. However, it came at a price. Danny used up all of his energy to beat his evil future self, and he is unable to save his friends, his family, and his teacher from being killed in the impending explosion. The Nasty Burger explodes, but luckily for Danny, Clockwork, having seen everything, saves Danny's friends, family, and teacher from the explosion. Clockwork says to Danny that he was trying to teach him to make the correct decisions to prevent the evil future from happening, and after seeing everything Danny tried to do to prevent the evil future, Clockwork decided to help him. Clockwork takes Danny back to the point in time where the class is about to take the CAT, and he gives Danny another chance to make the right choice. Danny returns the answers to Mr. Lancer, and he also confesses to having looked at them. Danny apologizes to Mr. Lancer for what he has done, and he also puts his foot down, stating that he will never cheat in his life. Lancer, touched by not only his apology and his confession, but also his speech, decides to actually give Danny another week to study so that he can take the CAT the right way. After everything is set right, Danny then confronts Jazz about the note he got from her. He now knows that his sister knows about his secret as Danny Phantom, and Danny thanks Jazz for helping him get through all this, and they share a heartwarming hug. Well, that's pretty much the episode, so let's go over the good and bad things that I believe came out of this episode. Starting off with the stuff that I believed was good about this episode. I think it was cool that Nickelodeon allowed you to create your own ghost on their website back in 2005 so that they could try to create the perfect form for the evil Danny Phantom. It definitely sparked a lot of imagination and creativity. I also like how this episode was trying to utilize the butterfly effect. What is the butterfly effect? The butterfly effect describes that one small decision could have a huge unforeseen impact on the world, and this was basically Danny's decision to cheat on the CAT. The last good thing I believe came out of this episode was the fact that it was trying to deliver the message that cheating was absolutely wrong, and I do agree with that. Now let's move on to the stuff that I believe was bad about this episode. I don't like how this episode essentially started the cancellation of this show, since Butch Hartman spent a lot of money on advertising this episode, and he began to overspend the budget for Danny Phantom, which caused Nickelodeon to be ticked off at him. I also really didn't like Mr. freaking Lancer's behavior in the first half of this episode. This guy's behavior towards everyone in the first 14 minutes or so is more appalling than his behavior in the earlier episodes.
Remember, it's your future. Do you want fries with it?
I honestly question if Mr. Lancer is so biased. No teacher could be this rude. He puts so much pressure on everyone to study really hard so that they would do well on the CAT. And when Sam, Tucker, and Lancer were at the Nasty Burger, he acts like a complete jackass.
Enjoy your nasty burgers while you're still on this side of the counter.
I mean, this teacher will literally go out of his way to do stupid shit for no reason. However, I will say at the end of the episode, he does soften up. And I did notice in the later episodes, he was actually more fair to the students. So I feel like this episode not only taught Danny a lesson, but it also taught Lancer a lesson to not be a complete jackass. With all of that being said, I give The Ultimate Enemy an 8.1 out of 10. Well, that's my review on The Ultimate Enemy. You guys tell me your thoughts on the episode. Did you like it? Do you agree with my opinion on the episode? And you guys tell me your thoughts on the memories you had when seeing this episode on television for the first time back in 2005. Have a nice day, everybody.